Sup my dudes, Valkyrja, and today I want to talk to you guys about a unique perspective I have on the Genshin community and one thing that I've always found strange about it, so hopefully you guys can give me a little bit of inner perspective to it so I can get some greater understanding of it, because I have some examples to bring up of stuff that I've done in the past that basically showcases what I'm going to bring up. Now, what I want to talk about was actually highlighted by the last couple videos that kind of like made me realize something, because I was talking about this on stream, and it's something about the Genshin community that's just like always I found weird, and I haven't really been able to put it into words until recently, because I had this epiphany, this shower thought moment, if you will, and I realized exactly what it is that I'm wanting to discuss. It's how Genshin community is one of the most competitive communities I've ever seen, and how it's always struck me as odd. Basically, in Genshin, if you don't do the absolute best thing, if you don't do the most optimal thing, you are seen as subpar, you are seen as terrible. People will go after you, they'll go after your family, they're going to hire hitmen, they're going to end your existence because you're not doing the absolute best thing ever. And Genshin is one of the most competitive communities I've ever been in. Now, I want to give you some background as to why me saying that is significant. I was a top 50 in the world player in DNF Duel. I have played fighting games the majority of my life. I have played Tekken 7. I was really big in Tekken 7, really big in Street Fighter 5, really big in Mortal Kombat 9. I was really big in all these games. I played the ever-living hell out of them. I played fighting games the majority of my adult life. And I have never been in a community as competitive as the Genshin Impact's community. Now, I want you to realize exactly what I'm getting at here. I'm saying the Genshin Impact community, a game that is a free-to-play, gacha, story-driven waifu collector with no real endgame and no difficult content outside of Abyss Floor 12, is more competitive than competitive fighting games. That's what I'm getting at. It's always baffled to me how much people care about what other people do in this game. To an amazing extent, like to the extent of just absolutely going after them with just absolutely belligerent words and just absolutely trying to destroy them and talk about how bad they are, da 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 da. Whenever in fact the game's so easy it genuinely doesn't matter. It's baffled me how competitive people are inside the Genshin space to always want to compete with other people in the single player artifact waifu collector. I don't really get it. I don't understand it. I've tried to understand it. I can't. Simply because this is somebody I've come from many competitive backgrounds. I'm a very competitive person. I like competition. I love to compete. I love to prove myself. I love to beat people. I love to have that feeling of superiority. I love all that shit. But I don't get it in Genshin. I don't think it belongs in this game at all. And to me, it's just always been odd whenever people do act like that. Whenever people do act like this is a competition. Whenever people get upset at you for not running the absolute best stuff, for not having the best artifacts, for not having the best in-slot weapon, for not having the absolute best setups. For example, this team right here. I've gotten so much stuff over the team about removing Quicken from the Hida's proc because I'm making Hyper Blooms instead with Yelan. Like, I've gotten so much ish about this team. I don't care, because at the end of the day, my C6 R5 Giga Wailed Out Raiden Shogun's going to one-shot everything. That's just how it works. So I don't really care, because Nahida does amp up Raiden by a little bit due to elemental reactions, and fills that 4th slot in this team that I was wanting. So I don't understand why people are so competitive in this game. And it's not something that's recent. Don't get it twisted. This is the couple last videos were a catalyst for this conversation, but they're not the reason behind it. This is something that's been prevalent since the game's inception. This is something that's been going on since the very start of the game, and I've never once ever understood it, to the point where now I'm just flat out asking, why are people like this? Because I don't get it personally. As somebody that's been a competitor in many games, I don't get it. I have competed at the height of competition. And I don't understand why people are competing inside this game space specifically whenever there is no reason to compete. In fact, the only player versus player mode, the Genshin Impact, the Genshin Geniusification TCG, that is the only player versus player mode. Nobody plays it. Simply because there's not enough rewards, there's no incentive, but that is the only way you can go against other players in this game. That is the only form of PvP content, and no one plays it. So that means even the one thing there is to be competitive at, nobody's competitive at. Instead, they're competitive at the one aspect that's not competitive in the least, and that's the PvE. That's the single player portion of the game. That's where most people are competitive, and I've never, ever understood it. So that's today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys agree or disagree with me on how competitive the Genshin Impact community is within itself? How much can people compete against each other? And if you have an explanation as to why you think they are like this, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.